Lawrence, how pleased are you to finally get the deal signed and over the line?
No, it's great to be back. Obviously, took a bit of time to get things finalised and get it over the line, but I kind of knew for a few days in advance before I got signed that that's where I was going. I'd made my mind up at that point, so I was pretty relaxed about it.
What did you have to consider?
There was a lot of things to consider. Obviously, the situation I was in at the end of last season, I'd ran my contract down and I'd made that decision during last season. Obviously, the new manager coming in, things changing a bit at the club. I had a couple of conversations with him at the end of the season. He kind of let me know that he was quite keen to keep me, so that was obviously one thing I had to consider. And then obviously other options that could have become available. There was a couple that popped up, and maybe on a financial side they were good, but in terms of the family side and the strength the family can give you around football, I think I need that support, and I was quite keen to have an option that would keep that available to me. And in the end I made the decision that Hearts was the best option for me.
At your stage of your career, is that important that this one had to be the right one, be it staying or moving on?
I think at every situation, if you find yourself out of contract, the next decision you make is an important one, and I felt, obviously I'm familiar with Hearts, I've been here long enough, and I knew what I was getting into if I came back, but I wanted to make sure that in my own head I was 100% committed to that decision, and that's why I took a bit of time on it. I just wanted to be sure on everything I was doing, and right now I think I've made the right decision.
There was a lot of focus on you, and because you ran your contract down, was it tough mentally to deal with, or were you quite comfortable in your mind what you were going to do?
Over the summer or last season?
All the last year as a whole.
Obviously last season was difficult for a team. We didn't perform the way we wanted to, and that obviously did bring its issues, and it can be quite tough mentally at times, but that was a whole group thing. Obviously as the captain and stuff, you take a bit of responsibility for that as well, and it can go on your shoulders about, but after the season was finished we managed to get ourselves off the bottom end of the table and be mid-table, and we kind of had to draw a line under that, and then it was just into making a decision that was best for me in my future. And as I said, when I spoke to the manager, he was quite keen to keep me, and what he was saying about the club was positive, and as I said, I was familiar with everything as well, so it was kind of an easy decision to make in the end.
Lawrence, what if last season had been a bit more successful, do you think it would have been easier to commit to Hearts earlier and put all that sort of uncertainty to bed?
Possibly, but it's hard to tell. Obviously, at the time, and I'd made the decision that I turned in the contract for Hearts. Can't remember when that is now, 5 winters ago or something. But I kind of turned in that contract with the position I was in at that point, and I felt that was the best decision, and I went with that. And obviously, the contract didn't get spoke about until the end of last season, when the season was coming to an end. So it was kind of parked until that point. But I think as a player, you can only decide and go with a decision that you feel at the time is the right thing to do, and I think you need to back your own decision and back your own thoughts, and that's what I've had to do throughout.
I know you've said elsewhere that you're aiming to hit 100 goals for Hearts, and that would obviously elevate you to the legend sort of status, the names there. What other targets do you have over the next year or two?
Obviously coming back, you want to be successful. 100 goals is something that I think is achievable for me, and it's something I will look to go and do. But more importantly, as a collective, I think we need to go and look to try and get our hands on a trophy. I think when I first came to Hearts 3 years ago, that was something that I had ambitions to do, and I think as a club and the manager coming in, I think that is something, of course, that we're going to try and do. It's not easy to do, but if we could go and win a trophy and put your name in amongst the names, it always helps.
Would you expect to be the Lawrence Shankland that's getting 25, 30 goals this season? And what would be different that would allow you to do that?
I would be, aye. I think there's too much different. Obviously, seasons change, and the 2 seasons before last, well, I proved that in that sort of team I can be successful and I can score a lot of goals. Obviously, last season there was slight tweaks to the system and stuff, and changing positions and that, but listen, you can read too much into that. I think overall as a team we didn't perform well enough to give yourself a chance to score a lot of goals with any player, never mind myself. So I do believe that coming here this season's the right thing for me, and I can believe I can re-find that form.
You've worked with Derek before, so what can he do to lift your career again?
I think he knows how to get the best at me. I think he knows in terms of what type of player I am. He's seen me long enough, and can I come up against me long enough, he knows what to expect from me as well as a player. that was part of the decision. Obviously, you speak to him and he explains how he'd like to use you, and it was something I was interested in.
Your future at Hearts is settled now, Lawrence, in terms of the Scotland's World Cup qualifying campaign. How important is it for you to get back into this squad?
Oh, listen, I'll come here first and foremost and try and score goals. Try and reframe my form that I've had in the past. Obviously, found myself at the recent squads, but it's kind of been the story the last probably 5 years I've been in and out. So I've no issues with that, and I'll just look to refine my form at club level and see where that takes me.
Is that something you still want to do, get back in the national team?
Of course you want to be involved. I'll not get too caught up in it, if I'm honest. I'll look to find my form at club level, and in the past that's kind of put me in a good position to be involved in the squad, so they kind of take care of themselves when they come round.
Considering all that's happened over the last year and the speculation about your future, do you feel going into this season there's a bit more pressure on your shoulders to perform?
Not really, no. To be honest, there's probably less. I feel that once I made the decision that I was going to stay, there was a wee bit of pressure came off, because as you say, there's a lot of speculation, and everywhere you turn people are asking you about your day and you moving and you staying, and it can get to you a wee bit when people keep asking you the same questions. So I was quite happy a few days after I'd made the decision and committed to coming to Hearts. I was happy with what I'd done, and that's how I feel now. I feel relaxed about it, and I'm looking forward to the season.
It's a short space of time, but even on the field, have you felt that difference as well, even in the training ground, that there is that release almost?
Probably. To be honest, I don't think many boys in that changing room really enjoyed last season. To be honest, it wasn't the greatest, and the atmosphere around it wasn't great. We weren't playing very well, and it was a hard atmosphere, and it was quite hard to be around for everybody. But it already feels different. It feels like a kind of different place I've come back into. There's a good spirit amongst the boys, and the change room's quite lively and that. So it's been good so far, and hopefully that continues.
Had you made your decision, Lawrence, to stay at the club before Derek was announced as the manager, or was that one of the deciding factors that made you want to stay?
No, it was after. Obviously, at the end of the season, you seen that he was going to get the manager's job, but I think it was important I had a few chats with him, first and foremost, and he kind of expressed why he thought Hearts would be good for me, and why I'd be good for Hearts. And obviously, fairly on, we had open discussions around things, and he understood my situation as well. Obviously, I'd ran my contract down, and albeit he was keen to keep me, he was also happy to give me that time and had a bit of patience for the situation as well, which I appreciated, to be honest, because I kind of needed it to weigh up everything and have a think. So eventually, when I decided to stay, he was delighted, and I was delighted to say that as well. So.
Back into cup action this weekend, is this a competition you feel Hearts should be making an impact in?
Hopefully, aye. First and foremost, we need to get through this group stage. Obviously, we've not been involved in it in a while. We've been involved in European games, but it'll be good to get back to the competitive football as soon as we can. And I think it's important we got on the right foot and get a good start to the season, and hopefully can stand us in good stead for the league start.
Good luck.
All good.
Cheers.